Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Today I'm continuing to work on the Folio using Gi Kerr's The Happiness in Crafting kit, and this is Vintage Botanicals kit. And I am going to be making things for the inside today, for the gift part of the set. So I've already added this little piece of lace down the side, and what it's doing is holding the notebook in, and I made a little notebook, and so the notebook can be removed. Let me take that out. So you can take it out and use it somewhere else, or leave it in here and use it, or use it in here and then make you another one once this one, or add another one in here once you use this one up. And so what I did for this little journal is I just cut the papers down to, let me see if I can see here. So the cover is 4.5, so I cut the sheet of paper 9 by 7, and then the inside sheets I cut down just a little smaller. They are 6 3/4 by, so be 4 1/4, so be 8 1/2. So, and then just folded them in half. So that's what I did, and I used some of the papers from the kit. So I just printed them on copy paper, and so that they can be, so you can write on them, and they're not too thick, so it makes this a nice little journal. And then I printed out also some of the tags that was in the kit. I just did those on copy paper as well. And then I've added just plain paper in here, and this is from the kit. This is just a, this is part of a postcard, and I think I have it on cardstock. Let me show you what it is. So it's like these from the kit, and so I just folded it in half and put it in my journal to make a little page in it. And then I've used some dotted paper like I do in my planner, and then here's another one of those little cards folded in half, and then some old stained looking paper. It kind of looks like tea stain, but that's just the type of paper it is. And then I've also added another little tag, and it's just like this one from the kit, but I just printed it on copy paper and then just folded it in half, so that it's just another little page there. And then I just used, in the center I like to use, when I make a little journal like this, I like to have a decorative paper in the center. So this is just one of the papers from the kit. And then as you go through, it would just be the back side of all those. And so I've just stitched it up just like you would a little journal. And I wanted to keep it fairly small so that it would fit in here nicely. And then I just tied the lace around this side. And you could put one over here if you wanted to, but it's going to get really bulky adding all this other things in as well. And so I've just put it there, and then now we're going to take and start filling the pockets with things. I'm going to make a little ephemera folder for some stamps, and then we're going to make other decorations to add in the pockets. And this, I just took this little clip here and I added, off camera, I added just a little bit of, it's like a piece of lace. It's just some floral lace, and then one of the tags from the kit, and then this is another little piece from the kit. And just added it to this, and that's how I'm going to hold the folio shut. And so I thought that was really cute. So let's move on to making the little gift set part, all the items to go in here. For some of the ephemera and bookmarks and tags and things in the kit, I'm going to use 3 of the Friday freebies that was created by Happiness in Crafting by Gi Kerr. And these can be found on her Facebook group, or you can also find them in her shop. If you are not on Facebook or you don't want to be part of a Facebook group, you can also find these in her shop for a very low price. You can get several weeks at one time. So I will link those below as well. And so I'm using Friday freebie number 24. This one doesn't have a number. This one doesn't either, so I'll have to look it up. These were the ones at the beginning. So if you take a look at them, you should be able to find them in her shop or at on the Facebook group. And I'm thinking this one was the Saturday freebie, and then this one may have been one of the first freebies that she offered. And once again, my printer, I set the wrong setting. I didn't do the cardstock setting for my printer, so what I've learned is it puts a black mark on there if I don't tell it that I'm using this thick paper. So that is not in the print if you download it. It's just that the setting on my printer. But I'm not going to use part of that anyway, so I didn't worry about reprinting it. So we're going to be making different pieces using this for our folio So these are going to be some things we put in there. So for this one, we're going to turn these into stamps. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut them all out, and I'm going to cut these out with my little scissors that give it like a little stamped edge. But before I cut these stamps out, I want to use some stamps on them to make it look like that it's went through the mail. And so I am using Stamp Collector Set by Tim Holtz. So I've got several out that I'm going to use for this. It's just some round ones I thought looked good on them. So I'm just going, this one's the one that says paid 5 cents, so I'm just going to stamp this on a few of them and just stamping. And I'm trying to stamp in different spots on these stamps and just like it's went through the mail. And I'm stamping off the edge so it won't be the whole stamp on there when we cut them out. And I think I'm going to switch over now to this one says paid. I'm not really sure what all it does say, but I thought this one looks good too. I like the round ones on these. So it looks like it went through the mail and got stamped. And I may try some of them to have 2 of the stamps on them. Because sometimes when you get mail, it does come through with a couple of stamps on them. Let's see here. Well, I'm not sure that I want to just stamp that there. And then right here. Maybe I'll just leave them each with 1 stamp on them. I'm not sure. Let me try this one with 2. Maybe overlapping just a little bit. Gives it just a little bit of something. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut those out with my little decorative scissors, and then I'm going to cut this out as well. And I'm just going to cut it out straight because I'm going to make it into a little booklet. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut this out, and I did cut it down just a little smaller than it is on the paper so that it will fit in our little folio. And then I have took and cut out all the stamps using my decorative scissors. And so now I'm just going to make this a little ephemera folder. And so what I have done is I went through and I printed a sheet on vellum. And it was the sheet that comes with these postcards and then several little pockets like this. So I took that sheet and I went ahead and cut it apart, and then I cut these little pockets down, and I'm just going to make a couple little vellum pockets for the stamps. So let me get my glue and we'll glue that up. And so this will be cute in the gift set. This gives some things for the recipient to use in their journal. So I'm just gluing on 3 sides, the 2 sides and the bottom, and then we leave the top. And the top already, when you print it out, has the half circle. So I just went through and just punched it with my 1-inch circle punch and just punched the little edge so that it would be nice and smooth. And so there is one little vellum pocket, and then I'm just going to put another one right here. And then I have the piece that I cut off the bottom of these pockets to make them shorter. And I'm thinking of using it as a little pocket, or a little tuck spot for some more ephemera in the top of this. But I'm still trying to decide. So I want to get these glued in and then just take a look and see. And so here are those little strips. And I'm wondering, should I add them up here so I can tuck more little ephemera in? But I'm not quite certain yet. So I'm going to hold off doing that and just go ahead and do the pockets here and see how much I can get in those pockets first. Okay, so then we can just put our little stamps in the pocket. So let's see here. And so if I had this at the top, and we just tucked a couple more in, I'm not sure that I'll like that. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get it all right here for now. We may use some of these stamps on some of the bookmarks and tags as well, but let's just put them in here for now. We have the inside done, so now let's just decorate the cover real quick. And so these are just pieces from the pages that I showed you before that are some of the Friday freebies. And I've just cut out some of the pieces. And then this is from the sheet where we made the little stamps. I had already made some up on thinner paper just to try it out. And so I'm just going to use these up as well. So we're going to decorate the front with them. So I'm just going to tear the edges of this little piece, the ephemera piece that was in the Freebie kit. And like so I'm just going to get the edges a little rougher looking. So I'm just tearing it out. And then I'm just going to put that on the front here. And I think I will ink the edges just to darken them up a little bit. Let me get some ink out. It's just a little quick decoration on our little ephemera folder for the gift set. So we're just going to add that, I think like this. And then I've cut out this flower. So we'll add it. And then I've got the stamp. So let's, I'm going to ink around the flower just a little bit, just to make it look a little dingier, a little older, but not completely. I like the brightness of those flowers on there. So let me put some glue on this. So I'm just going to add it like this, just a little bit of something on the front here. And then I think the stamp I'm just going to put right there. Just ink these edges up just a little bit. And I thought these make cute little stamps from that Freebie kit, and I love those little birds on it. And then I think we'll just add the flowers like that. So yeah, so let's just put this. And then we'll add the flowers. Something like, maybe like that. And then I'm going to ink around this butterfly and we'll add it. I think when you fussy cut out some of this, if you just ink the edges just a little bit, it covers up some of the white, especially if you missed some of the white on the edges. And I could have inked this with the orange that matched the butterfly if I didn't want to have the brown, but since the brown is kind of on the edges of everything anyway, and it really doesn't, it just seems to cover the white, it doesn't seem to show up a lot. So it's just a soft brown. So I think the butterfly will just go, trying to decide, should he be on this side like this or over here? Seems like a lot on one side, doesn't it? So let me see here. Just trying to decide. Kind of like him right there. I think he could go either spot and look really cute. So either way, it's not going to be a problem. There we have just a little folder covered up. So then we can just put it, I mean, we have it decorated up. I say covered up. We have our little folder decorated up, and so then we can just add it inside of our kit. And I'm just going to give it a few minutes to dry before I slide it down into that pocket. And you could put it in this pocket as well, and I'm not sure which pocket I'll leave it in. I may put it there, but it's going to go in either one. It's just something else to add into our little gift set. And so let's move on to making a little sign to put in this kit, and then the sign will be something they can take out and put up in their office or put up in their home, and so the recipient can. So I've went ahead and prepared a lot of the pieces for the sign, and I'm going to show you. We're just going to be making an accordion fold sign. So here it is before I cut the tag pieces in it. So what I did was just cut out the corners so that it looks like tags. So I already had these left over from another project I've been working on, and it was just scraps, and I want to use up all my scraps and stuff that I've got just stuffed around everywhere. So if you do not have anything like this, which you can make this accordion very easily. So you would take you can take an 11-inch sheet of paper, you know, an 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and you would just cut it. This one, if you want it to be the same size as mine, you would cut it at 3 3/4 across, and then you would just need to cut yourself 2 strips. And then you will score at 2 3/4, and you'll just do that. You 2 3/4, and then you just do in between each one all the way across to your 11, and then you're going to have a tab left over at your 11, and that's how you're going to attach to your next piece, your next strip. And so you would just attach it, and then you just fold it in an accordion fold. So an accordion fold, you just fold up and back, and then up and back, just like that, just to make a simple sign. And if anybody has any questions on how to make that, just let me know, and I can do a quick video on how to put one together. But I think these have been around for quite a while, so most everyone's probably going to have an idea how to put them together. So I didn't want to go through the whole process of that since I already had these made up. So then what I've done is, just like I'd showed you previously, these cards that come in the kit, they're like a postcard size, smaller version of all the pages in the kit, well, all the decorative pages. And so then it's like a postcard size. So they worked perfectly for this, and all I had to do was cut them down into little pieces, and to put onto the sign. And so then I'm going to be using, I cut out some letters on my silhouette, and if you don't have a silhouette, you could print these out and hand cut them, or if you had a Sizzix machine that had a font, and I just used a font that I liked for this one. And so what I've done is I've cut it out in a dark blue, and then I've cut it out using some of the background paper from the kit. And so I have chose to use the words "Find Joy," and I just felt like with all that's going on in the world, it's a good saying right now, is to find joy, to try to find joy in everyday activities and everyday life, and just to look for something somewhere each day to find just a little bit of joy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start gluing those on. But first I'm going to ink up my accordion folder here, my accordion sign here. Okay, so now I've got it all inked up. And keep in mind, you do not have to use the same wording that I did. You could come up with a different saying that it means something to you or means something to your recipient. You could even just use the word spring. I had thought about using the word spring because I thought this was a good little sign for springtime. You could use Easter. You could use anything that you wanted to put on it. You could even, I've even thought about making a smaller one and putting the person's name on it. So that would be another way that you could do this one. And if you was making this for a grandparent, you could put grandma on there, or you could put Nana or whatever. So there's many ways that you could personalize this for your recipient. And this is just what I wanted to put on mine, but any words would work, just as long as you may have to make yours bigger or smaller depending on how many letters that you are planning to put on here. And I went ahead and inked around all the tag pieces that I cut out. And what I'm doing is I'm alternating mine. There's a lot of blues in this kit, so I'm alternating the blues with the different colors, like the reds and the pinks. So every other one is going to have like a red or pink in it. And I think that helps it to break up some of the blues so that it kind of mixes it up some. So I'm just trying to line these up best I can. Put them in here. Let's see here. The next one's supposed to be pink. And this will be a cute little sign. I think I'm going to put it down in the pocket of the envelope, but I'm just going to have to see if it fits when we get done with it. If not, it can go in the side pocket of the folio as well. That's a good spot for it. That actually may be a better spot. Haven't totally decided yet. And I did punch out, I stamped this butterfly onto some of the background paper from the kit, one of the lighter sheets, and then I have just punched it out with a butterfly punch that I have. It's just a set that I have, a stamp and punch set. And so I've got that punched out. But if you don't have the punches or if you don't have the stamps, you could print it offline and then just fussy cut it out. Because if I don't have the stamp or the punch, that's what I do. I would just fussy cut something out. I can just print it, fussy cut it. And there are butterflies already on the pages in this kit, so you could easily fussy cut one of those out. And Happiness in Crafting, she has a whole kit of just different butterflies as well, so you could just get that kit and download it and just print them out and fussy cut all those out. So I do like using my, for the letters, I like using my Silhouette machine. I did used to have a Sizzix dies for the alphabet, and so you could use those, but I like for the, with the Silhouette, I could adjust the actual size of the letters that I wanted. And I have so many fonts where I have a Creative Fabrica membership, so I can just use any of those fonts that I've downloaded. So that's what I did for this. And so here I've alternated, as you can see. So this one's mainly blues here, and purples, and then I've got the reds and pinks on every other one. So that kind of, I think it kind of breaks up the look and makes it look good together. So then we're just going to add the letters, and you could decorate this up. I thought the papers was enough decoration that it didn't need a bunch of other things on it. But if you were just making the sign and you weren't going to mail it in this folio, you could really decorate it up with different like flowers and pearls and different things. And I considered doing that, but then it's not going to fit good in the folio and it's not going to be as easy to mail. So I was trying to make this as a gift set. So for this one, I'm not going to do a lot of decorations on it, because you could add lace, you could add a lot of things to it. But I'm trying to keep it from being so bulky, so I'm just going to put the letters, because I think that the decorations on the papers is enough that I don't have to add a lot to this. So I'm just going to try to center each letter up in the middle of the tag. So now I'm just adding the butterfly to the little lacy piece that I put down, and I'm just going to make him pretty much flat so that it all folds up good. And so we've got all the letters added, and you could just add a lot more to this, but I wanted to be able to fold up into the kit pretty flat and fit in. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 more pieces that I cut out, and I'm going to add it just to the front and back so that when they receive it and they open it, it's pretty. So let's just add that, and I need to ink just around. I'm just going to ink around the edges on the front and back just to blend in with the rest. I'm not going to do the whole back since it's not really going to be seen when the sign is up. So I'm just going to add it like that, and then I'm just going to add one to the front and one to the back. And it really doesn't matter which one goes on the front or the back. And you could use this throughout your day to write, throughout your week or month, to write different things that bring you joy on the back side. It could be a little book that you could make and keep up with your things that you're grateful for or things that make you happy throughout your month or throughout the season. You could leave this up for the whole spring season. I thought it was just a cute little sign, and to show off all these papers, these beautiful papers. So I really like how this little sign turned out. It's very simple and plain, not a lot of added decor to it, but I really like how the simplicity of it all is. And I think the saying, find joy, I think it'll inspire others, and I hope that it does inspire the recipient to find joy in everyday things, in everyday life. And especially right now in the world where everything, it seems a little bit darker and a little bit more bleak. You know, we're not able to go out and do the things we used to do, and so hopefully finding joy in just at things at home, this will help them. And I think the way I'm going to put this together into the folio is I'm going to tie either a string or ribbon around it, or even a piece of lace. I haven't quite picked out which one I want to use for that yet, but I'm going to keep it simple because, like I said, I don't want it to be too bulky because I want it to work good with my folio. But the more I tried it in the pockets of the folio and on the inside of the envelope of the folio, I found that it was just too bulky because I want to close my folio up with this clip. I really like the clip on it. So the more I thought about it I found that the back of it is plain. We haven't, other than just the paper, we haven't added anything to the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a piece of lace, and I went through my spools of lace that I have, and I really like this one. I think that the colors go great with this project. And I know it's a big pocket, it looks like a big piece of lace, but I kind of like that because it will also, this will fit in it perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to straighten up this piece right here where it's cut off, and then I'm just going to glue it on to the back here and use it as a pocket. So let me get my scissors and my glue. So let's see here. Just going to add a little glue right here. So what I'm going to do is just lay it here so I can see how long my glue strip needs to be. And I love lace added to, I've just really gotten into using lace, and I'm really loving it added to my journals and such. So I think, should I fold it or should I just attach it like this? I believe like this is going to be pretty. And I don't think it's really going to show that it was just a very little crooked cut there. So I think it's going to be fine because when I glued it down, I just glue it straight. And it blends in so good with the paper that you can't see it anyway if it was just a little off. But yeah, I've gotten into adding lace, and I really love adding all the lace to my projects. And so I'm not going to make it just stretched. I'm just going to leave it kind of loose, but still tight. Hopefully that makes sense. But I need to leave it loose enough that our project will fit in there. So I'm just going to run some glue down the edge here. And then I'm just going to lay it over where I want it to land, trying to make it sure it's straight. And if you didn't have lace, no worries. You could use paper to make your pocket, and you could use fabric. You could use, you know, whatever you have, because I'm a very firm believer about using what you have. For every project, don't go out and buy new things. Look around your house, see what you have that you could use. You know, you don't have to have all the fancy equipment and all the items. And you know what I just forgot? We didn't glue the bottom. So I'm just going to push the lace up out of the way, and I'm just going to glue across the bottom here. And then that way our pocket is closed up so that nothing falls out. Now if you were going to not close your folio with the clip, if you were just going to tie a ribbon around it or something, then it should be fine just to add this inside there. You wouldn't have to make this pocket as well. But I think the pocket does add something to it too, and it decorates the back of this up. So now I'm just going to trim along this edge. And I've got to get my hand situated here. There we go. So we have it. Make sure everything's pushed down good. And then once I tie a ribbon around this or a string, whatever, I can just tuck it down in here. And really, I wouldn't have to tie anything around it if I didn't want to. I could just leave it like that and tuck it in there, and I may make a decision to do that as well. Okay, so for the next thing we're going to make, in the kit, there are, on the tag page, there are these strips at the very bottom of the page. And so I went ahead and done it to one. We're going to make little bitty tickets. And so all you have to do is take one of those strips and you fold them in half. And then you just take your circle punch and you just punch out the corners, just like it would, so it could look like it is on a ticket. And then where you folded it in half, you're just going to punch those corners as well. And then when you get done, you're going to have yourself a little set of tickets. And so you can just ink those up. Let me find my ink. Just ink the edges up where you clipped it. And that way, it looks like a little ticket. And so there's 3 of those little strips that come in the kit. So you could turn all 3 of those into tickets if you'd like. And that's what I'm going to do just to put in my kit is more little ephemera for the recipient. So we're just going to take, once again, just fold it in half and clip the corners. So I'm going to put those in my folder. So you can just add those to your little pockets. Just some little tickets. Okay, for the next part, I'm going to take this sheet from the kit and I'm just going to cut it up into strips to make some bookmarks. And so I'm just going to see how wide I want them. I'm going to do this one, I think about 3 inches wide. And then I've got to see how tall I want to make it. Let me see here. Let me hold off on cutting it just in case I change my mind about what else is going on it. And so then here's this one, this strip, and I think it's going to be 3 inches as well. And I will hold off on cutting it down until I see exactly how I want to decorate it up. So I've laid out a few things that I want to put on them, and I've cut all this out from the freebie kits that I showed you before. And so I want to add this to, I think this page is what I'm going to do, this one here. So I think I'll just add this in here. So I'm just going to rip this down, just making it have some rough edges. And then just trying to see what all I want to put. And then we got this little card here that make it go on it. And then we got the plant. And then some butterflies. Let's just see here. So I'm just going to cut this down. Let me find my scissors. Just going to cut straight across here. Okay. Then I'm going to use my punch here to round the corners on this so that it looks like a little bookmark, because that's what the purpose of it is, to be a bookmark. And then I'm just going to punch a hole in the top of it for the bookmark part. Let's see here. Okay, and so then I'm wondering if I need this or if all this would be enough. Let's just try it and see. Where is my, for this one I want to use my black ink for the edges, just to darken up the edges some. And I'm going to do the same thing to this little card here. And to the bookmark. And so then, let me move this out of the way. Oops, I want to do my little butterflies too, because there is some white showing on them, and that'll help hide out the white where I cut them out, because they were tiny and they were a little harder for me to cut out that size, but I really like them. They're so pretty. And I like combining different kits together like this to make something different. So, thinking right in here, one with this card, and then the flowers. Just darken those edges just a bit. Not a lot, just a little bit to outline them. I think it'll help them stand out better on the card here. So let's go ahead and add. That is so pretty. I really hate covering that up. That's what I'm trying to figure out. No matter how I do it, it's going to cover it up anyway. So let's add this. To the card. And I like to roll some of these edges over as well. Just kind of roll them up some, and then stick this in here, kind of like that. Then we'll just add the little flowers there. And then the little butterflies. I'm just going to figure out all the little places I want to put them. Maybe something like this. Let's see here. Maybe just have to do what looks good to my eye when I get them on here. Okay, so I think I like that. So I'm just going to add the little butterflies now. And right here. So let me just see, I'm going to adjust those just a little bit. And then put that one up there just a little more and over. There we go. So I think that looks cute so far. And then for the, I think I'm going to go in there and stitch around it possibly. I'm not totally decided yet, but I'm thinking it would look cute with it stitched around. So let me take this ribbon here. Let's see what this ribbon looks like on this one. It may be too wide, I don't know. Try it and see. I may need a shorter little piece. Don't know yet. So that's one cute little bookmark, and let's just move on to this one, decorating this one up. And then we may add some things hanging down from that. So I want to take this one, and I'm going to cut it off where that butterfly is. And so then I'm going to tear this around. I'm going to ink it with my brown ink. And got to find that little piece. I think there's enough left on here. I don't need to add any more to the ink to the sponge, so I'll just ink around the edges. And I think I'm going to try to put this one over to the side some, so that this can show, the purple can show through a little bit. So I'm going to just add that right in there. Oops, dropped it right on there, didn't I? So just put that right in there. And I think this is going to go right in here. Let me see if a tag would look cute in there. I might add that there as well, but then that's going to be covering up the purple flowers. I may not want to do that. What that would look like. Just sticking in there just a little bit. Along with this here. And then our butterfly. Just around the bottom somewhere. So I'm just going to add this little card here that came in the little freebie kit. Just going to add it right here. And then the flower I've cut out, just fussy cut around it, and I didn't cut close to it. I left a lot of white edge to it. So I'm just going to add it right in here as well. Let's see if I can, I'm going to turn it just a little sideways there. And I do want to ink that flower just a little. Just give it a little tinge of brown on it. And then let's add the butterfly. I think I'm just going to put him right in here. I'm going to roll this up just a little. Just a little bit. Smush that down and then roll this down just a little right there. You can always glue it down too when you do that. You can just, when you roll it over, just add a little glue, press it down. Since this mate is going to get some use in a book, possibly as a bookmark, you may want to go ahead and do that. So here we have another little tag, and let's punch a hole in it. And I don't want blue ribbon in it. I'm going to have to pull down some. Here's some white that I have. Let's just add a little bit of this white ribbon to it. And let's see how it looks. And there we have another cute little quick bookmark for our kit, for our little gift set. And I think I'm going to cut this one down a little bit, the ribbon, but I want to put it in here and take a look and see what it all looks like first. Okay, so we have our little bookmark. Let's just slide it in there. And yes, I definitely want to cut it down. I want to see how far. So I'm going to cut it right across here. There we go. So it could actually be, you could add it here or in that little pocket. Let me see if it's too thick. It's too thick for that one. So let's put it right here. And then we can put this one right in here. So we have that one in here. And then I had some, let me see, over there we have our ephemera, a little ephemera book that we need to put in here. And here's another one of the little tickets. And what else? Did I have anything else I was going to add? And you could add these into your little ephemera kit as well. So there we go. And I think I need to glue that little butterfly down a little bit better because he is sticking out and I'm afraid it's going to pull him off or rip him. Let me push that down just a little. Okay, so then he can go in there. And let's see what else we can add. And then we have like the postcards that can go in there. And different little pieces like that that's left over from their kit could be added to this as in our gift set. Let me see here. Take this one out for now. You have those, and then I have taken these pieces, which I know that's not what they were for, but here's some little pieces, and I've just wrapped a little bit of lace around them, and you could do that and put that in the kit too. And kind of do this kit kind of like you do a loaded pocket, where you can send all kinds of little gifts in here. So you could send a little thing of lace. So we have our little folio full of all types of little goodies for our recipient. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make this folio along with the gift set. And if you enjoyed my videos, please be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new video. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and bye.